Where do I put my highlighter when I do my makeup?
Baby.
Okay, moving on.
The Astroworld tragedy was something very sad, shocking, and really scary. But what does Travis Scott think about it? What has he said about the hundreds of lawsuits he has received from those affected? And what has the Kardashians' reaction been to see that their brand, reputation, and fame could be affected by this tragedy? Could it be that the Kardashians are moving away from Travis to avoid being affected? What has Kylie said about it? We still have so many questions about it, and we know that you do too. So join us to understand what is happening between Travis, Kylie, and the Kardashians. Find out everything here. Kylie Jenner returned to social media for the first time since she was criticized for her handling of the Astroworld tragedy, while partner Travis Scott remains out of the public eye. It has been less than 3 weeks since the rapper performed during the deadly concert that killed 10 people and injured hundreds of others. A video showed Scott's concert continue despite desperate pleas for help from the crowd, stopping about an hour after concert-goers were in distress, with some yelling for help and trying to get officials to stop the show. Attendees described the chaos as like hell and partying in a graveyard, as the music played on and the Apple Music livestream continued. Jenner, who is pregnant with the couple's second child, wrote on her Instagram story early that Sunday that she and Scott were broken and devastated by the loss of life, and that they were praying for those injured or affected. Jenner said she wanted to make it clear that they weren't aware of any fatalities until the news came out after the show. Jenner wrote that filming and performing would not have continued if they were fully aware of the scale of the chaos unfolding among the 50,000-person crowd. Jenner was criticized on social media for posting video footage from the concert on her Instagram that also featured an ambulance attempting to navigate its way through the crowd to assist those in need of emergency care. Scott tweeted that he was absolutely devastated by what took place. On his Instagram story, Scott told followers he was working to assist the families through this tough time. Scott, who appeared distressed as he rubbed his head and closed his eyes repeatedly, said, quote, "My fans really mean the world to me, and I always want to leave them with a positive experience." He called on those who attended the concert to share whatever information they had with the authorities. While the rapper paused his set at least 4 times, including once asking security personnel to attend to an assistant who had passed out, many on social media criticized officials and the star for not finishing the show sooner. Rapper Roddy Ricch, who was one of many artists to perform at the festival, took to Instagram to say that he would donate his net compensation from the event to the families of the victims. Veteran rapper Master P, who performed earlier Friday afternoon, posted a snippet of his set to Instagram, showing a jovial but jam-packed crowd waving their arms as he played. "Life is too short. Tell your loved ones you love them when you walk out the door because you never know," Master P wrote in the post's caption. The singer and songwriter S.Z.A., who also took the stage Friday, said on Twitter that she was in shock after learning of the fatalities that night. "Just praying for everyone in Houston, especially the families of those that lost their lives," she wrote. And Kanye West, who was not at Astroworld but has collaborated with Scott and was married to Jenner's half-sister Kim Kardashian, memorialized the dead in the latest edition of his semi-regular worship music performance. The show, known as Sunday Service, was dedicated to the loved ones of Astroworld. Scott has been named in multiple lawsuits totaling more than $3 billion, and they continue to pile up. But what exactly is the rapper on the hook for? One legal expert says the case will, quote, "come down to what he knew regarding safety issues, when he knew the issues, and what he did about them. If Scott actively disregarded known risks to his concert-goers, either before the show or during it, he could be on the hook for negligence at the least, and the millions of dollars in damages that could result from the suits." Attorney Rachel Fizet, managing partner of Zweiback, Fizet & Coleman, told Yahoo Entertainment. She continued, "Incidents at Scott's prior concerts will be a factor in plaintiffs' claims that Travis Scott should have done more to alleviate the risks at his show. But the investigations into what happened to cause the horrific tragedy at Astroworld is still ongoing, and Scott's knowledge appears to be yet unknown." Fizet said Scott could be held liable for millions in damages, which of course could lead to bankruptcy with the amounts possible as a result of these lawsuits. However, it will be a stretch to put this just on Scott. While it's unclear how the incident will directly impact the musician financially, his brand could be damaged beyond repair. "It's been a brand disaster through a treasure chest of blunders," says crisis PR expert Eric Schiffer. After the incident, he said he was devastated, but Travis's initial words don't ring true with many people. Why did he keep performing when emergency vehicles were pulling up if he was so devastated? Why didn't he stop the music and have producers announce it? Why did he and Drake throw a party right after? Schiffer believes Scott was slow to respond. The rapper ultimately issued a statement late the following day. Quote, "Attempts to manage his brand have not changed the perception that he allowed an environment that caused a lethal night of music." Schiffer adds, "Scott is hardly just Mr. Kylie Jenner." Forbes declared the Sicko Mode singer a brand whisperer, landing him on its 30 under 30 list. He reportedly made $20 million from his deal with McDonald's, launched his hard seltzer cacti, and partnered with Nike and its Air Jordan line on Cactus Jack, a sub-brand he created. Nike has postponed the release of its latest sneaker collaboration following the tragedy. Dior is evaluating whether to move forward with its spring men's line in collaboration with Scott. You are witnessing the single most incredible brand hit to a music performer in modern American history. Travis is sitting on a powder keg that could see his empire go boom, believes Schiffer. Many brands will view Travis like the plague, potentially facing his entrepreneurial explosion. Travis's legal liability is nothing compared to the severe financial pain and suffering he may undergo with brand deals napalmed before his eyes. Nothing material has ended, but he is an incremental groundswell away from people and families outraged enough to direct their anger toward Travis's brand partners. It was announced Scott and Kylie's joint W magazine cover, which was shot prior to the tragedy, will not be digitally released or promoted following the incident. So is that a sign of things to come for the power couple? Quote, "There will continue to be significant slowing down of any action, and a lot of analysis and watching of how Travis manages things over the following days and weeks," explains Schiffer. As for Kylie's solo billion-dollar brand, she'll likely come out unscathed. The reality star was in attendance at the concert, but was safely ushered out of the VIP section with Kendall Jenner. The Kardashians were criticized across the board for appearing insensitive after the tragedy, posting about Kris Jenner's birthday and mostly going about business as usual. But it is very likely that public opinion will also affect Kylie, and we know that this is something that her mother, Kris Jenner, will not allow, so they will surely try to get away from Travis until things calm down. They will not risk their millions and fames for anyone. So, what do you think? Could it be that the image of the Kardashians could be affected, or could Kylie also have to pay for what happened just for being Travis's partner? There are still many unresolved questions, and we are sure that the legal representatives of both are working day and night so that the image and economic impact is the least possible. What we do know is that we all want justice for those who lost their lives in this tragedy, and that our hearts go out to all the families affected. Leave us all your theories below, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this from your favorite artists.